Hi, I'm Rebecca Rosen, a spiritual medium and best-selling author. For almost 25 years, I've been serving as a messenger for spirit and helping people strengthen their own intuition. Join me as we continue to explore, heal, and ascend through episodes centered around your questions, channelings from spirit, and powerful conversations with my friends and colleagues. As an empath, I have done a lot of work on maintaining and healing my own energy over the years. In this episode, I'm taking your questions and sharing what I've learned from Spirit about maintaining a high vibration, cutting cords, and healing after a loss or traumatic experience. How can we maintain high vibration and protect our energy from negative environments, people, and circumstances, including work, toxic or draining people, existential issues, or even dark forces? I love this question, mainly because it applies to everyone. If you are in a body, then this hopefully will be a worthwhile question to, really sit with and to listen to what Spirit has shared with me over my many years of doing my work. Okay, let's start with this. We are in an earth school. We can consider our lives to be an opportunity to come into the classroom of earth and to learn certain soul lessons that we are here to learn and or teach, okay, in relationship to other people and our environments and our life situation. Okay. So having said that, when we incarnate, we often choose to learn our lessons through opposites or contrast, because it's a really easy way for us to be able to recognize, when we know what we don't want, we get real crystal clear and sometimes real fast on what we do want, okay? So this earth world, the 3D experience is a world of duality and polarity, okay? So if we just expect it and know that we cannot avoid it, it's just part of the deal, then we're better able to find the gifts in it and appreciate it, bless it, okay? Because it gives us that amazing opportunity to be in this earth classroom and sift and sort and try it on. And if it resonates and feels good, keep it. And if it doesn't, move on to the next, So when we view it through the lens of our lower self or our ego, that's where we get into trouble, because we go into that linear 3D thinking of judgment, good, bad, right, wrong, positive, or negative, okay? Rather than when we shift gears and we choose to view it through the lens of our higher selves, okay, through the lens of love, faith, and trust, then we are able to shift out of judgment and move into discernment, which is very different, okay? And so from that place, we have the power to choose. And we can choose from that discernment, from that place of love, and decide, if that feels good to us or not, and whether we want that to be a part of our experience. So how can we maintain a high vibration and protect our energy from it? Well, I think it really comes down to what you focus on expands. All right. So you can either give your power away and plug into these toxic or negative energies, or you can shift and, recognize it's always going to be there, but not give your power away to it by focusing on it. Instead, focus forward, turn, your energy toward what you do want and how you do want to feel and the energy you do want to be a part of and what you want to call more of into your life. Okay. So that first thing we do is you have to change the lens through which you're viewing it, right? And then view it through the lens of love, faith, and trust. The next thing you do is you plug into your higher self and source energy. Okay, so you're choosing to run on that pure positive energy. And in that, you are able to then light yourself up with that energy, and like attracts like. So yeah, that energy exists, but you're not going to be absorbing or attracting it. And if it comes around you, if you are plugged into that truth of source and that pure unconditional love, you hold the power to transmute that energy back into a higher state of consciousness, a higher place of light and love. Okay. And then it's really important that we ground ourselves. Okay. So that requires, to be grounded, we have to drop into our bodies and into our hearts so that we can feel our way into every moment. Okay. And, if it brings up when we're feeling whatever we're feeling, if we feel discomfort, heaviness, constriction, then we recognize, okay, I'm right now personally in a space of lower energy. Okay, lower vibrations. And your awareness of it gives you the power to shift it. Okay, so awareness is key. And then we can consciously choose to shift that focus to what we can control, which is our own energy and our vibration. All right, meaning I choose to feel trusting. I choose to feel the higher 5D heavenly frequencies of light and harmony and connection and unity and oneness and peace, rather than the negativity and the fear-based energies that are inevitably all around us. So you plug into the light, the love, the higher 5D energies. Okay. Another really important thing Spirit has taught me is that when you're in or around a negative environment, negative people, situations, toxicity, okay, make your aura bigger and brighter. So rather than what some of us tend to do, myself included, I'm totally guilty of this in the past, where I would shrink down and kind of disappear. I would, try and run and hide, or I'd leave my body. No. That is definitely not the way to handle this. What we want to do instead is get even more grounded in our body and light ourselves up, expand our energy field, make our aura, make our presence even bigger, even brighter. Okay, so this is where you dominate the room. So this is a method called project versus protect. Okay, so rather than protect your energy, project your energy outward. You can't send and receive energy at the same time. So be proactive and dominate the energy in the room by setting the tone, projecting light and love out to uplift and shift the vibration. Okay, set the tone. So when you walk into a room, send out your light. And how do you do that? You simply are present, because your point of power is always in the present moment. You drop into your solar plexus, your center of power and will, and you project your light out from this space. It's a very powerful tool. Okay, so if you're sending out this love and light, you don't need to worry about absorbing anyone or anything that's dark or negative or fear-based. So rather than being afraid of energies outside of yourself you can't control that we will label as fear-based or 3D lower vibrational energies, instead, just don't give it any thought or power. Shift your focus to the 5D heavenly love and light and truth-based frequencies, okay? And plug into that, embody that so that you can then hold that vibration. And in that, you are being the light, okay? That is how you are able to be a powerful light worker, whether you're doing it just for your own personal reasons or you're doing it because that's what you're called to do. It's your soul's purpose in this lifetime, to show up and make the world a lighter and brighter place just by being present and being you. What is the best, simplest way that we can protect our energy and feel more positive on a daily basis? Please include tips, tools, and or items to wear that we can use in this process. Whoever wrote in this question, thank you. This is a heyday for me because, we teach what we most need to learn, and everything that I offer is always an authentic experience for me, in that it's something that I too need to better understand, to learn, and to incorporate and integrate into my daily life. Well, this is the basis of all my books, to be honest. This is really my third book, What the Dead Have Taught Me About Living Well, where I talk about how you get spiritually dressed for the day. It's a day in my life, right? And using my spiritual tools. Well, we're going to talk about all my favorite spiritual tools with this question, because I think some of these may resonate for you. And I would encourage you, if they do, take what works, leave the rest, but play with it, because it can only help to empower you while you're in this earthly experience. So, prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation, it's a really important tool, because we're always more powerful when our mind is still, okay? When we have less noise in our minds, less static in our energy field, we are better able to manage our own energy, okay? And so a lot of times the way we get there is through, contemplating, sitting, just being. And, meditation, there isn't a one size fits all. For some people, it's a formal meditation practice. For some, it's a guided practice. For some, it's using a mantra. For some, it's truly sitting in silence. For others, it's moving meditation. It's just simply going for a walk, a hike, a run, yoga, something to get you out of your head, into your body, breathing, moving energy, and quieting the mind. Okay. I just created a new meditation series for calling back your energy. It's a morning and evening practice. I have a free version on my website, which you can certainly use. It's a very quick, condensed version. But the morning and evening practices are a great tool to use. It's how to start your day getting spiritually dressed, okay? Grounding, connecting, protecting, and then intentionally moving into your day by co-creating. And then the evening is about how to call they're both about how to call your energy back so that you are fully present and in your highest, purest power. But in the evening especially, it's about calling your energy back from everyone and everything that you encounter during the day so that you can be a pure, clear, empty vessel. And you can intentionally go into your dream time so that you can heal, or you can go to astral travel and connect with your team in spirit in the higher heavenly planes, and, whatever that looks like for you. But in the end, those are just tools that I've created. There's millions of tools out there. So you just have to find what works for you when it comes to prayer and meditation practices. Okay, another amazing tool that I've learned is it's imagining a disco ball, okay? And when you meditate, just imagine stepping into this giant disco ball that has this light on the inside shining out. And I imagine my ball to be like a golden white light. And it's about allowing yourself to hold that energy with the mirrors on the outside of the disco ball, so that when you're pushing energy out, this is that whole idea of projecting your energy out, right? Rather than protecting, because you can't send and receive energy at the same time. So you're choosing to be proactive. You're sending your light out. You are being the brightest light in the room to deflect any lower vibrations around you coming at you. So the mirrors deflect it. All right. So anything that would be based in fearful thinking. Okay. So fear-based energies like judgment, competition, comparison, jealousy, greed, anxiety, lack. Okay. All of that is transmuted by your light. And so that it's deflected by the mirrors in the disco ball, and it's transmuted, purified back to this high, pure state of light, love, and truth. So that is one technique you can use. Another technique you can use is running your energy. Okay, I talk about this a lot in my latest book, What's Your Heaven? I also created a whole series on Change It, Run It, Tap It. And running it represents running your energy. So running your energy, my energy healer had taught me this, and I've used it for years now, and it really seems to resonate for me. But running your energy is the practice of the visualization of different colors funneling through the body to help recalibrate our energetic system and elevate our energy. Okay, so basically, there's different colors that, operate at different vibrations or frequencies. And so, when I need to kind of like empty out or clear out my vessel, and I just feel like I need a really good psychic shower or spiritual bath, I imagine royal blue. So I run my energy, I imagine royal blue like a waterfall pouring down into the crown of my head, running through my entire chakra system, my entire body, and then out through every level and layer of my entire energetic field: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So I just flush this energy, and I just kind of do it in a circular pattern because it deprograms and it cleanses our entire system. You can run your energy at gold. Gold vibrates at the highest frequency of divine creativity, truth, and unconditional love. So I compare this to like the godlike energy. So that transmutes anything that's going to be negative or lower in vibration. So you can use gold. Violet, like the violet flame, you can use that because that purifies, transmutes lower vibrations, and you can use it for protection as well. So that's just another idea, if that resonates for you, to run your energy with colors. You can also wear those colors, okay? So if you feel more protected when you are wearing certain colors, black does tend to protect you. So a lot of times I'll wear black when I'm going into a very intense or intimidating situation. And so black is a color, but blue is a really powerful deep blue protective color. Again, you could choose the violet color or gold, whatever resonates with you. Mantras. Okay. So there are so many mantras that can be used. And when you sound, creates healing, and it has a vibration or frequency. And so when we recite mantras over and over and over, we're putting that energy into our mind, body, and our energy field. So I was taught by one of my healers. She was trained, in Buddhist philosophy, and she taught me the Om Vajrapani Hum mantra. The Om Vajrapani mantra. In Buddhism, Bodhisattva Vajrapani's, it's the ultimate power activity mantra. And it's famous for inspiring benefits like protecting, strengthening, and empowering our practice. Okay. So his mantra, the Bodhisattva Vajrapani, it is the highest expression of ultimate activity or karma. So it's a power mantra. And so my healer taught me, when I am dealing with really intense darkness or negativity, whether it's of this world or the spirit world, okay, other people or toxic situations, the best thing you can do for your own energy field, for your home, for your workspace, is chant the Om Vajrapani Hum mantra. Okay. And while you're doing it, you visualize yourself stepping into this giant, deep, deep blue bubble with flames, fiery flames all around you. And you imagine it spinning in a, let's say, counterclockwise position. Okay. So it's spinning off and out any of the lower, denser, fear-based energies. So that's another example, if that resonates. Crystals. Okay. I could probably talk all day about crystals. I've loved them since the time I was little. Some of us, they resonate, which means they're a tool that resonates with our energy field, which meaning it will help us if we use them. And what I was taught just recently, when I was in Scottsdale recently, a client / friend of mine, Julie, she took me to this amazing gem gallery. Okay. It was like the most mind-blowing place I've ever seen with crystals before. Anyways, the woman who owns it, she, one of the women we went in with said, I need a stone for my daughter because I want it for protection. She's a professional jockey and she needs to be protected and out of harm's way. And so the woman explained how any black crystal, doesn't matter what it is, any black crystal is what you want to have on or around you. Okay. So I've always been drawn to my black crystals. And so I'm going to give you a few examples. Black tourmaline. Okay. It's known as the force field protector, and it's tied to our root chakra, and it acts like a powerful shield to protect you from every kind of negative energy. And it helps you to feel safe and secure, and it also helps to relieve stress. Okay. So I put a piece of black tourmaline in my car and in my kids' cars, my husband's car. I put a piece in my daughter's backpack, just to protect her with being away and at school. I love to put a piece in my pocket whenever I know I'm going into an extra intense negative or situation, or I'm going to be around really aggressive people or sometimes negative people or just a stressful situation. Okay. And sometimes I'll just put a piece on my desk just to have it around me, or again, I'll wear it, okay? Whether, it's on a chain or again, doesn't matter how you use it, just that you have it, in your energy field. If I'm dealing with negativity, negative thoughts based in shadow. So that's black tourmaline. Black obsidian, again, root chakra. It's known as the mirror. Okay, so it's said to reflect and cleanse negative energy from your psyche, your spirit, and your aura. It purifies inner negative energy and it releases it, and it sends it back to its source to be purified. Black onyx, again, root chakra. These are all root chakra. It's known as the stone of release. Okay, so this black onyx, it deflects negative energy from others and it protects you from fear. Black kyanite. So kyanite in general is one of my favorite stones. Black kyanite aligned with the root chakra. It's known as the cord cutter stone, okay? And it's used by a lot of healers for aura cleansing and clearing energy blockages, mainly because it slices through and releases you from darkness and negative influences. Black shungite. I have black shungite all over my house, in my office, because it's really, and this one too is attached to the root chakra, but it's known as the miracle stone. And it really provides protection from EMF, electromagnetic frequencies. And we are surrounded by magnetic waves from electrical grids. Basically, think of like the cell phone towers. Think of your cell phones. Think of computers, electronic devices, okay? So shungite, it counteracts these waves and it protects your body and your aura from these negative energies. And these can be really depleting energies. So when you have black shungite around you, it absorbs it. It either minimizes it or it absorbs it entirely, but it allows you to only, hold the positive energies. So I'm hoping some of these tools resonate. There's obviously many, many more, but I thought these were the ones that I tend to use on a daily basis, and take what works, leave the rest. What is the best way to heal from loss, sadness, and or guilt after a relationship has ended and return to a state of high vibration? Is there a way to reset our energy quickly? Well, this is a great question because it's universal, right? We all have different life experiences, but in the end, we're all connected and one and the same. And that is, we all have feelings. And well, most of us do, but we all have gone through different situations where we have felt loss. We have felt sadness, depression, guilt after a relationship ends, whether it's a death or it's a breakup or divorce, or somebody canceling you or you them, whatever that looks like. There's that saying, and I have it in a couple of my books. People come into our life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. But with our soul contracts, it is so often that it's only for a reason or season. And there's going to be, a parting of ways, an ending. And, you wouldn't be human if you didn't feel some negative, heavier, denser energies, emotions like sadness and loss and guilt or pain, you name it. So this is really about relationships. When you're talking about energy, think of your chakra system, your energy centers. Your second chakra, okay, and it's located in your pelvis just below the navel. Your second chakra really deals with emotions tied to relationships and other people. It's also your sexual center. And so, especially if it's an intimate relationship, you're going to have cords. These etheric cords form. Now, depending on how intense the relationship, if it's a really intense relationship where you've been together for a very long time or a short period of time, but it was really intense, it was hot and heavy, the cords are going to be really giant, really thick. Think of like giant trees. They're as big and tall and thick as tree trunks. But for other relationships that come and go pretty quickly, they may be thinner, like dental floss, okay, or a garden hose. But regardless, if there's cords, you've got to cut the cords. And you can only cut fear-based cords. I know a lot of clients, when this comes up, they're afraid. They don't want to cut the cords of the love-based cords. You can't. Love doesn't die. Those are eternal, okay? So it's only the fear-based cords, the ties that drain you, deplete you, that disempower you, that you're releasing. So there's a lot of ways to cut cords. You can do it, through intention, by intending the cords to be cut. You can call in Archangel Michael to help you cut those cords. You can work with an energy healer who can help you release these cords. But basically what it comes down to is calling your energy back, okay? I created a new meditation series for this purpose. And in the morning practice and the evening practice, 2 separate meditations, I have calling your energy back, and there's a prayer to, in a sense, cut those cords, okay? And so that is one very important way. Another thing is to reframe the situation, okay? So ask yourself, after this relationship has ended, not why did this happen to me, but what was this here to teach me? And how do I create balance here? So when you hear yourself ask why, stop yourself, okay? And ask yourself instead, what? Not why, but what? What do I need to know? What was this here to teach me? And how? How do I create balance here, right now from this? So that takes you out of a victim state, out of this very low vibration, a very disempowered state, okay? Where if you do stay in the why, you're going to continue to run around in a spin cycle of the shame and blame and judgment, the heaviness that you're feeling, the burden, weight that you're feeling energetically, maybe even physical weight that you're holding on to, but it's stuck energy. And when you do that, whatever you vibrate at, you attract. So if you continue to swim around in that spin cycle, you better believe it, you're going to attract another situation that mirrors back that same energy frequency. Okay? Well, that's the last thing we want to do. And so what we want to do is be able to get neutral, okay? And so we're able to step back and say, okay, what was this here to teach me, and how do I find balance now? How do I create balance with this? And from there, you will be guided. You will receive the guidance that you need in order to heal it and neutralize it so that you can move forward in a very empowered and high vibrational state. And so at the end of the day, it really comes down to blessing the situation, seeing it as a gift, okay? Thanking that person, that situation for showing up and being one of your greatest polishing stones or teachers so that you can grow and evolve into your highest and best self. Which types of beings in spirit help protect and heal our energy, and are they always at work for us, or do we need to invoke them? If so, how? So I've written about our team spirit in essentially all of my books, because our team spirit is, it's universal. Before we incarnate, we all basically say to a team of higher beings of light, cover me, I'm going in. And that team is made up of very enlightened beings that are there for your highest and best good, okay? So imagine it being like having like the best doctors and therapists and counselors and coaches and cheerleaders at your disposal 24/7, okay? Well, energetically you do. And that team spirit is made up of a ranking system. And at the very top, you have the angelic realm, okay? The angels, the archangels, okay, under that umbrella. And there's also the golden guides. Okay, so angels can also be, another way of saying it is golden guides. These are golden beings. Okay, and they're basically, you call in the big guns when you need to feel protection or when you need healing. Okay, and because they are a much higher frequency than perhaps, let's say, your dead loved ones. Some of our dead loved ones are pretty evolved, I will say that. And they're doing the work, they've done the work to grow and evolve into even more trustworthy, powerful spirit guides for us. But some of them, not so much. Okay, I always say, if you didn't trust their energy or trust their wisdom in life, why would you now? Unless they have done that work to grow and evolve their consciousness. But we can always trust the angelic realm. And within that, we have the archangels, okay? So the archangels, these are like God's MVPs, most valuable players. And in that, there's a bunch of them, okay? And in my book, Awaken the Spirit Within, I go through the archangels, and I give you a list of the 10 that are the primary ones that you can work with. And there's all sorts of great tools in there and prayers you can use and what they do for you. But if we want to simplify this, I'm going to just share with you 2 archangels that you can call on: Archangel Michael, or Saint Michael, and Archangel Raphael. Okay. Archangel Michael is truly the head or chief of all the archangels. And his name means one who is like God. He's considered a champion of justice. He's a spiritual warrior in the battle of good versus evil. He's a healer of the sick and the guardian of the church. Okay. And you often see Michael depicted with a sword and a shield. And for that reason, he's there to protect. He's often invoked as the patron of worldly powers of force, such as the military and police. However, he is available to anyone at any time. So if you need a sense of protection, you call on Archangel Michael, okay? He also uses his sword to cut those cords, the cords that might be draining you, cords in connection to people or situations that do not serve you. And then we have Archangel Raphael, known as the angel who does acts of healing. So Raphael's name means it is God who heals. And Raphael acts as a conduit of this healing light. Archangel Raphael can help soothe or cure our pains, whether it's mentally, emotionally, or physically. Okay. And I often, in readings I do with people who are healers or healthcare workers, empaths, or just natural born caregivers, they usually have Archangel Raphael in their energy field. So to sum this up, you call on Michael for protection and clearing, okay, which equates to healing when you're clearing negative cords or energy. And then you call on Archangel Raphael for profound and immediate healing. Then we have spirit guides on assignment that help us manage our energy, okay? So I personally have 2 specific spirit guides, and these spirit guides are not ancestors of mine. Okay, but they have incarnated, they have told me, and I've been with them in past lives, and they call themselves Sash and Astara. They came to me many, many years ago, probably, 17 years ago. And they came to me explaining that they helped me both before and after my large audience events. Okay, so they kind of act like these nurses, okay, or caregivers, where they deal with kind of the more minute details and they stay by my side when I'm working with a lot of energy, both physical people in this world and the spirit energy, okay? And then recently, they've been working with me as I'm going through an ascension process, okay? And so they're part of my ascension team of guides. But they're ones who come in and they help to clear me and cleanse me and protect me. So you can get to know your spirit guides, and you can just simply pray and ask, do I have any guides that are working with me? And if not, I'm asking for help. And you just kind of put it out there, and then they will show up and do their work. And maybe they come to you directly in a dream visitation or in your meditation, maybe through a journaling, a channeling. You'll get clarity on who is working with you. And maybe you won't get anything, but you sense or feel this presence by your side. That's enough, okay? So let's leave our mind out of it and just trust. If you put the invitation out there, your team spirit will come by your side, even if you're not sensing or feeling them. I promise you. And then we have the ascended masters, okay? These are very enlightened beings who walked the planet. We have prophets that were ascended masters, wise mentors, teachers, healers. But one that we all know of is Jesus, okay? He can be considered an ascended master. And as we know, Jesus provided physical healing. He healed the sick, caused the blind to see, and raised the dead, as it was quoted. And Jesus offered the healing balm of forgiveness, okay? He helps us to recognize our own innocence that's always and already there, that we're already in a whole and healed state, a pure divinity and love. And this really comes back to the teachings of A Course in Miracles, which I'm a big fan of. While I personally have never officially studied the Course, I've dabbled in it. The Course is a self-study course designed to help you undo your conscious and unconscious beliefs that you are separate from God, so that you can return to your natural state of boundless love, peace, and joy. True healing of the mind and body can only come from the transcendence of false thinking created by the mind that loves to create states of illusion and delusion. And so with the Course in Miracles, it talks about the Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit's job, that energy that comes down to us and through us, it can help us get out of illusion and delusion, okay? So all perception of illness, whether it's in one's own body or another person or anything, any animal or plant in general, is caused by the fragmented lens that it's being looked through, right? So if we're viewing, ourselves or others through a faulty lens, through our ego, through a fear-based lens, that is where the illusion or delusion comes from. And so what my guides have told me to do, a really quick way to make sure you're not viewing through the lens of fear or shadow, but instead you're choosing to view through the lens of your higher self, through the lens of love and light and truth. Well, you can simply say something to the effect of, Holy Spirit, I invite you in. Help me heal my mind of fearful thinking. Help me see through the lens of love, of truth. Help me see the situation or this person through divine eyes, to see the divinity within them and within all. So you can say whatever feels, like truth to you, but something to that effect. So, and I'll just leave you with this. In A Course in Miracles, Jesus advises us, do not ask the Holy Spirit to heal the body. Ask rather that the Holy Spirit teach you the right perception of the body, for perception alone can be distorted. So learning to perceive the body, okay, and when I say body, we're referring to the mind or the physical vessel, the body. So learning to perceive the body miraculously through the Holy Spirit's vision is what brings about true healing. Can you speak to cutting cords with past relationships that involve trauma, whether in this lifetime or generational or ancestral, and healing from that trauma and protecting against it in the future? Okay, so this is an awesome question. It really lends well to my most recent book, What's Your Heaven? Because in that book, I talk at length about we are here in Earth School to work through unbalanced karma. We are here to heal and balance our karma, whether it's with ourselves and or with others, okay? Whether it was passed down to us through our, intergenerational programming, our ancestors, okay? And that's what this person, when they ask the question, is referring to, ancestral lineage that we have adopted, that's been, fed to us, that we've subscribed to. And a lot of times when we're unconscious, we just fall into these patterns and this programming. It's part of the human condition. But as we start to awaken and we become more conscious, we start to recognize, what's our truth and what's not. And so we start to reclaim our power. So let's start with, here we are in this Earth School, okay? We are here to learn and teach important lessons. And the primary way that we do that is through relationships, okay? So we have soulmates, and these soulmates travel with us in and out of lifetimes. Soulmates are not just romantic in nature. While some are, yes, there are many that are not. Your parent could be your soulmate, your child, your best friend, okay? And you can have partners that are romantic soulmates. But the bottom line is that you have unfinished, unhealed karmic baggage or business. And there's no judgment on that. It just is. And so you are here now again with an attempt to do your best to heal and balance that karma, to neutralize it so you can transcend and grow. So if you look at it through the perspective of when you're in a relationship and there has been trauma, there's been pain, there's been hurt, but you look at it as that person is simply playing out the role that you asked them to play, okay? Before you were born, in our pre-birth planning, you came together and said, hey, you play out this role, giving me the opportunity to learn this lesson, okay? And the reverse holds true, that they are asking you to play out a certain role, giving them the opportunity to learn and or teach a certain lesson, okay? When we look at it that way, we take our power back. There's no victim. It's like game on. This is fun. This is exciting. And here's an amazing opportunity to do the work, to grow and evolve. That's the whole point. The whole goal of the soul is to learn and grow and move into our highest evolution. So you can then bless that person, bless the situation, and say thank you. Okay? So that shift in perspective alone takes you from victim to a very empowered state of the co-creator of your life. Now, with all of that, cutting cords, whether you're cutting cords to a person or situation from this lifetime, or maybe it's a past life that you've brought back into body and you're dealing with in this life, and or it's generational trauma, cords tied to ancestors passed down to you, right? It involves acknowledging and releasing energetic ties to these past experiences and inherited patterns, okay? And ancestral healing, again, focuses on understanding and resolving trauma passed down through our family lines. So to sum this up, we're basically breaking agreements with these old beliefs, programming, and patterns that we have adopted, okay, that, we have allowed to be plugged into us, that, have been passed down, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally. Most of the time it's unconscious. We're not aware of how we're, screwing up our kids. We're never trying to. But though it's easy for us to recognize where we have our own childhood wounds, where our caregivers, our elders, our parents maybe screwed us up or failed us. But again, we reframe it and we simply say, no, they were just doing their job, giving me the opportunity to know what I don't want or know how I don't want to be so I can take my power back, wake up and do it differently and do it better. So what's going on here is we're breaking these agreements with these parents, caregivers, ancestors, institutions, teachers, gurus, you name it, okay, that we subscribe to, but no longer are. We're taking back our power. We're coming back into alignment with our truth, not theirs, but ours, and our divinity, our divine wellness code for this embodiment. And the more we can clear ourselves of other people's programs, expectations, and pictures of us, the more powerful and free we will become, because we release all enslavement, all lack and limitation frequencies. And that, my friends, is how we are able to show up and be that authentic light, to be our lightest and brightest version, the best, shiniest versions of ourselves. So when it comes to protecting against it in the future, you can use techniques. Once you become mindful and you live a mindful life, you have a mindful daily practice, you can use techniques like meditation and therapy maybe even techniques therapists use like EMDR or somatic experiencing, which is basically body psychotherapy, and energy work. And all of these things can help to facilitate the process of healing and resolving whatever dis-ease that has been stored in your mind and body, whatever's been causing you to be in a place of PTSD or trauma, or your shadow self in a perpetual state of being in the wounded inner child or lower self. So there are healing modalities available, and it's essential that we do this, because if we don't, the unresolved trauma or hurt or pain or suffering or disempowered state that we're in, it gets stored in our cell tissue. And that dis-ease will eventually turn into disease, okay? That's where we get the cancers and the heart attacks and the heart disease and all the other, laundry list of things that are a result of our basically unfinished business, okay, that we have harbored in our cell tissue. And so if nothing else, that alone should be inspiration for us to stay conscious, to stay present, to stay with our best intention, putting our best foot forward. We're not perfect, but showing up each day with the pure intention to do our best, to live consciously, and to do our work, and to break free of all of the conditioning and all of the programming that's been placed on us, to come back to who we really are and our own divinity. As an empath, how can we differentiate between our energy and another's? And how can we serve them without taking on their energy as if it were our own? Well, this is a fabulous question. I'm sure a lot of you listening will be able to identify with this, especially if you're highly sensitive or empathic, myself included. I could talk for hours on this, but to really try and just to be succinct, the key here comes down to awareness of our own energy, okay? And that we do over time. The more we walk this spiritual path, the more conscious we become, and the more present we try and be, the more we can choose and manage the energy within us and around us. So, number one, awareness of our energy first thing upon awakening, okay? That allows us to get a set point for the day. So basically, before you get out of bed, just take a mental inventory or do a body scan of how you feel mentally, physically, emotionally. Do you feel kind of neutral? Great. Do you feel rested? That's awesome. Or do you feel like you're already waking up like with your gas tank is on half empty? Maybe you had a restless night's sleep or something that you were worrying or wondering about, was causing anxiety. You took into your dream state. You kind of marinated in it all night long, and you wake up feeling unsettled, unresolved. Well, you just have to take note. Where are you without judgment, okay? Because the minute you get out of bed, you are going to start receiving broadcasts from the world around you. Hopefully not before you've had your first cup of coffee or tea, but it starts the minute you start engaging with the world, okay? Turning on the news, interacting with your family or friends around you, going out the door into your day ahead. Maybe it's your workplace. So you want to have like a baseline read of where you're at. Okay. You must know how you think, how you feel when you're alone, so that you have something to compare it to then when you are around others in the hours that are going to follow. Okay. So there's this amazing quote by this brain scientist at Harvard University. Her name is Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. And Oprah had her on her show back in the day, and it really resonated with me. So much so that I put it up in my office, and it says, it's a sign that says, please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space. We are all responsible for our own energy, okay? And the energy that we bring into any situation, any space. Now, moving forward, once you know where your energy's at and you've taken responsibility for using your tools and getting yourself into a good and grounded and connected state. As you move into your day and you are encountering other people and situations and you're not clear if what's coming up for you is theirs or yours, you just simply need to stop yourself and mentally ask yourself, is this energy mine or is it theirs? That simple question alone will allow you to gain a lot of information. So really, this is about getting into a daily practice of energy diagnosing. There's energetic data all the time going on around us, but we have to get into a practice of asking ourselves energetic questions all day long. So let's say you walk into a certain place like a restaurant. Ask yourself, how do I feel? Because a minute ago, I felt really calm and zen, and now I feel, oh my God, like I want to like pop out of my skin. This place is so loud. Every time I walk into this certain restaurant, it's like, feels like it's made out of tin cans. It's so loud and frenetic, even though it's super healthy and everyone loves it. I cannot be in that space. And I love their food, but I should probably just get to-go orders because I cannot sit in the energy of that space. So that's one example. When you leave a place, okay, or a person, just mentally train yourself. Ask yourself, did I leave my energy in that place or with that person? So just notice, do you feel drained all of a sudden? Do you feel like really anxious? And then you recognize, oh, time out. The person I was just with was going through a really high anxiety time. I absorbed their energy, right? So where you feel you're losing your power, whether it's mentally, because you just keep obsessing over something unresolved, you just keep thinking, rehashing it out over and over in your mind, or emotionally, you just feel like an emotional basket case, or physically, right? In your physical body, you start to feel low energy. You feel aches and pains in certain parts of your body. That is a sign that you absorbed energy. So you need to stop in that moment and pay attention to where it is in your body you feel it, okay, where you're holding it, and then consciously choose to unplug from it. And you want to be as practical and down to earth, like grounded with this as you can. You want to notice where you're leaking energy and don't judge it and don't doubt yourself, okay? Don't feel bad about it. There's no right or wrong in this. You're not shaming or blaming anyone or anything. It just is. It's a matter of fact. But then you need to immediately call it back and unplug from it. Otherwise, you become more susceptible, more vulnerable, and prone to illnesses, especially the mystery illnesses and diseases. The things you go into your doctor and you're like, I'm not crazy, but this is happening. And they come back, empty. They have nothing. They've done all the tests, all the scans, nothing. Like the headaches, the sensitivity to light, the buzzing in your ear, the aches, the pains that are just out of nowhere showing up in certain body parts, the fibromyalgia, all the things that can't be diagnosed. Well, it's usually a sign it's energy, okay? And we are more energetic beings than we are physical, or at least those of us who are ascending are starting to move into becoming more light than matter, okay? And so we have to take our energetic system very seriously, as if not more than our physical, because everything starts out energetically and over time manifests into physical. So this is all about calling back our energy. And I created these new meditations for the morning and evening practices to call back your energy. So I won't explain more, but if that resonates, check those out. And so we must get to a place of neutrality and stillness, okay? Our emotions can block clear sensing of energy. So when we're highly emotional about an issue, it's much harder to get a clear objective read on it. Especially before I go into readings, I have to meditate to get to a neutral state so that I can give clear reads for people and not projecting any of my own stuff onto their reading, right? And the busier your mind is, the more you are apt to be unconsciously affected by other people's energy. So we want to get out of the doing, like in our head, like the monkey mind, right? Where we're constantly overthinking, overanalyzing, having those, conversations in our head, to a practice of being, okay? Just observing how we feel, observing what is being said or what you're witnessing, what you're seeing going on around you. and just trying to really be neutral and just be in that present moment. So how do we do this? Yes, I'm going to say it. Meditate. My favorite two things, prayer and meditation. But you're going to meditate and you're going to call your energy back with that, practice. And when you do that, you get present in the here and now, and you can be a neutral blank slate. Okay? So you picture someone or something that has power over you. Okay? You take a deep breath and you say something to the effect of, I am calling my spirit back. I am calling all of my energy back. I'm calling my entire energetic field back from that person, place, or thing. It can be that simple. But again, if you want a more extensive practice, check out my Calling Back Your Energy meditations. With this question, how do we protect ourselves against social anxiety? And, really, rather than protect, it's about project. I say this a lot, but it really is, protecting is a very important thing, but we want it to be a love-based, not fear-based thing. And so we want to get ahead of it. And when you project, meaning when you are able to show up and be the light, be the change you wish to see in the world, as I believe Gandhi said, that is where your power lies. When you're dealing with, let's say, people that cause you high anxiety, or you just know happen to trigger a lot of negativity or lower vibrational energies, okay? How can you best show up in that situation? You can serve them by, number one, forgiving them, really seeing that their soul is innocent and pure, even if their humanity, their ego, has made choices in shadow. But that forgiveness takes you out of judgment and it puts you in your higher self, okay? Another thing, just imagine that person or those people, imagine them at their best. Just imagine them achieving their highest potential, because what it does is it calls them to it. And then you can also pray for their highest truth and highest healing. Because when you do that, you're bypassing your ego, what you think needs to happen or how they should be. And you're truly asking divine spirit to decide that, but bring them into that highest, purest light. Okay? And then again, finally, it really comes down to being the light. And when you are being authentically you, that pure divinity within you, the people around you who aren't digging it, who aren't a match to that frequency, they're either going to be super irritated with you and fall out, okay? Because you're triggering them, because you're holding up a mirror to them, and they will fall out in a way, or it will inspire them to rise up into their own divinity and their own greatness. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Small Medium at Large. For more information about my offerings and events, and for additional resources on your spiritual journey, please visit my website, RebeccaRosen.com. You can also follow me on social media by searching @Medium Rebecca Rosen on Facebook and Instagram. As always, I am wishing you brightest blessings and all love.